So today we are talking about video 13, recognize the risk of data loss and data corruption in a network environment. So we'll explain how data can be uh, corrupted or can be compromised, and what is the steps to prevent that. So the first thing, let's discuss the ways the data can be corrupted in a network environment. The first thing, when moving the data around the network, there are many opportunities to corrupt the data, right? So the first thing is attenuation and a signal loss. So as the electrical signal travels further from its source, the strength of the signal decreases and distort until the point which is unrecoverable. So when the signal loss, you can lose your data to in between the lines. So when you network database, when you move your data, if you lost a signal, you can lose your data. Electrical noise and crosstalk, most often it occurs when the electrical fields from cables interface with one another due to damage or insufficient insulation. The most prevalent in the data centers where you have hundreds of cables budgets closely together. So if you have a lot of cable around the room, it can cause corrupt your data because of the electrical fields that generate from the cables that can cause damage to your data. Delay of skew, the internal wiring, any cabling are not equal of length. The signal coming down to individual wires will arrive slightly different times. Factors that affect the relay skew performance include the material selection, physical design, and differences. Depends on the twisted rates from the pair to pair. So usually the transmission control protocol TCP and user datagram protocol UDP are generally the underlying network protocol that most applicant will use to move data around the networks. So that are the most say famous protocols to use to move data around. Most errors that occurs during the data transmission occur on the software layer rather than the hardware layer within the given network. So usually it's a software problem. Sometimes it's a hardware problem, but usually it's a software problem. When hardware fails on the network, it generally does so. It's noticeable and obvious fashion will most often cause all network traffic to increase. So corruption in memory will often be result of either faulty DDR-RAM or module sudden power loss or impacts on volatile memory. DRAM, like normal RAM modules, are non-precedent. They require constant electrical charge. Obviously the RAM, the DDR-RAM, the memory, mistake, it needs constant electrical charge to retain data. Any power disruption or fluctuation will cause data loss or data corruption. It will impact loaded memory modules. So these are some steps to minimize the impact of the data loss or corruption in the network environment. So first thing is, keep your computer safe, dust-free and dust-free areas, low traffic locations, and best prevention physical damage to the computers. So that is the first thing, that you have to keep your computer safe, where no dustings in the areas and stuff. Back up your data regularly. So you have to back up your data time to time. You have to set doesn't matter that you set it like automatic that backs up the data time to time, or you have somebody to backs up your data time to time. Then verify the backups actually getting the data off the tape and back into the computers. Protect the equipment from static electricity that can erase your data or data corruption. Today's storage media is becoming more vulnerable on this type of discharge, right? So protect your data from the static electricity because that can be harmful. Okay, so use virus detection protection programs to keep them updated. Viruses may not be as common as the news media makes it to seem, but they do exist, right? It's deadly to be data. They can reach into, they can steal your data, they can delete your data, they can corrupt your data too, right? But they are dangerous. Viruses are dangerous. Analyzing the database frequently to minimize the data corruption. It is recommended to analyze utility regularly. This utility checks and repairs many common data write errors, forcing web services access to reduce data corruption. Right? So you might want to configure your environment so that you can force user to connect to the database through the web server. So that's how you can. These are some few ways you can minimize the data loss or data corruptions. So that's it for the video 13. Thank you for watching.